up, hurry up. Here we are. 6 things going on. Hang on a sec. Hang on. 14. All right, what's happening today? Up on the 3rd floor. Again, today it's my turn, not Shiba-san. But it's rather than just do the same thing again we did yesterday, I've got some extra. We've got some show and tell today. We've got some interesting show and tell. So I've got my own sizing to do today. Yesterday was Shiba-san's turn. So it's soup plus show and tell. Let's get this stuff out of the way here just a moment. This is what's going to be today. We've got a rat update. We've got some sizing to do. We've got a show and tell. Yesterday, when Shiba-san finished her own sizing, she cleaned up and everything, so I don't know where it all is. So. When those girls clean up, they clean up. Is it dark in here today? I don't know. Got 3 liters super hot soup. New Year's greeting print. No idea what you're talking about. Okay, what's going to be going on this morning? I've got 2 batches of paper. The one that I was supposed to be sizing yesterday, but Shiba-san just took all the time. That's what happened. This is for 4 copies of Times Burned Bright per sheet, the UQA Hero series. Sugi-san is waiting. She wanted this yesterday. She's off today because I'm not ready, so she's doing something else. She's going to come back on Friday. So unfortunately, that's what happens when I don't do my work one day, it cascades down the line. So anyway, 4 copies of Times Burn Bright from each sheet for Suga-san. And then Yamamoto-san, he's doing our Great Waves plus other stuff. He's bringing another batch of Great Waves today, and he needs the paper for the next batch. So it's 30 sheets of paper here, which will do 60 sheets for the Great Wave. Let me cut it in half and get it ready here. And we had a great rat update last night. Great story. I don't know if it's a great story or not, whatever. Cameron's just gonna, what? But hang on, let me get some work done here first. Yesterday with Shiba-san, that was fun, you know, she's okay, she's a good kid. She's a really, really good kid. She works so hard. She doesn't let anything get in the way. I know whatever problems come up, she just MacGyvers it or goes around or figures out what to do. She doesn't get knocked aside by anything. She's really valuable to us, you know. What should we do first? Let's do Suga-san's first. tiny bit disappointed in the stream. You guys didn't catch yesterday. We didn't have this down here. I depend on you to catch my mistakes before they go too far. It's a daily occurrence. Rats. Give me a minute. Let me get started, then we can talk. I can't talk and organize at the same time. So let me get started here. Got my brush. Don't forget to soften the brush, says he. Now this is new sizing today. I just made a fresh batch. You saw what I did just now. I made a fresh batch of 2 liters. There's way too much to do today. It's going to take over 2 liters for today's job. And you see, Shiba-san, it's funny, yesterday, I know we've learned how much size it takes for any given sheet of paper. And I made enough yesterday that was more than enough for hers than for mine. Turned out it wasn't anywhere near enough, and it was funny because she was sizing quite lightly. It wasn't going in here really thick. And yet, by the time she'd finished, we had used a lot more size. And I think what's happening, I don't really notice it myself, but the bin is open here when we're doing it. And normally for me it takes 1 hour or so. While I'm doing it, it presumably is actually evaporating a little bit. And I should maybe start to have putting a bit of water in bit by bit as we go. I didn't do that yesterday. She was really quite slow. It took her 2 hours. We started at 8 and it was nearly 10 by the time we finished. So I think we're getting too much evaporation from this. And the size is probably getting thicker and thicker and thicker as it goes on during the day. So I better think about that when we're taking a long time with these. It wouldn't hurt to put a little bit of water in there. And the paper she did yesterday actually was quite a thin paper. If it had been a really thick one, we'd have had to put more water in it. But she was using a thin paper yesterday. This one today, this is a thick one. This will use a lot of size. She's cleaned up. Where is everything? I keep 2 rolls of green tape. Start sharing your space with a woman, and first thing you know, you don't know where anything is anymore. Okay, let's get this underway. Peaceful work today. We got sizing, we got show and tell. Some fun show and tell. It's a double show and tell. A print set that I got quite a long time ago from one of the dealer auctions, which I would never have sold. And then over the last few days we got another set, the same one. So we're going to inspect them, and then one will stay and one will go out. But it's beautiful stuff. Anyway, let's get this show under the way. That's too close. I'm going to bang the screen. Hang on a sec. Clear here, clear here. Yeah, at least she did clean up. Yes, I mean, of course, I'm not saying anything nasty about her at all. The girls are way better than me. I'm the one who's careless about cleaning up. I know, it's the other way around. She's doing things properly, so I wasn't trying to be critical, just, Here we go. So, choo. The first step on the road to becoming Times Burn Bright. Oh, that reminds me of the video. I promised you sort of yesterday that we would get the video up yesterday. And it didn't happen yesterday. I know, actually it was circumstances beyond my control. Cameron's and I are making it together. Well, no, Cameron's making it. And what he had done was, we were supposedly ready to put it up yesterday. And two things got in the way. He and I were going to go through it as the last stage. I wanted to see it before we upload it. You know, I still have editorial control here. So I wanted to see the thing before we uploaded it. And he was doing some last minute voiceovers. He's the one who's doing the voiceovers, what Suga-san is doing. You know, she's printing. Instead of me doing the voiceovers, Cameron is doing it. And of course, he's double checking to make sure he knows what's going on. He's asking her, he's asking me, what is this? What am I seeing? How do we explain it? And that was going on yesterday morning. And instead of me being able to get in there and help and do it, the shop was insane. So I didn't actually get a chance to help him or go over top with the editing. And then he went home early. His wife called him, one thing happened to another, and I said he went home early. So we didn't get it up yesterday. Not because of any specific problems with the thing, just simply because other stuff came in and took over. So the plan is, I'll do my sizing this morning. The girls are going to handle the shop down there today, and I'm going to try and actually keep out of the shop. And he and I will sit upstairs and go over the last stage of the video and put it up. So I'm not trying to tease you. I'm sorry about this. The plan is that it will go up today. But as always, life and stuff gets in the way. Careful, you guys. The big difference between hers and mine, it's nothing to do with the squat, it's what you're seeing here. My left shoulder is locked. My nose follows this brush right across. And with hers, remember, she's doing, to a large extent, moving with her arm. She also started moving her body a bit. But my nose follows that brush millimeter by millimeter across this thing. I'm not doing it with this, I'm doing it with my legs. For those of you who don't know what we're talking about here, there's a semi-joke back and forth here. My concept is, because I don't have a lot of upper body strength and I can't do this, I lock my arm and I use my body, move my body. So it's my legs, right leg over to the left leg to do this. But Shiba-san, when she's been doing this, she tends to crouch and stand and try and do it with her arm. And I think yesterday she was blending. She was moving her body along as well, I think. It's not a better or worse or right or wrong. It's just whatever you got to do to get this stuff spread smoothly onto the paper. A little bit heavy in the corner here. 5 million views. Yeah, it takes us like 10 years to do this, and Justin Bieber does it overnight, but whatever, it's okay. We're having fun with it. And 5 million views, you know, it's 5 million clicks on a video. It doesn't mean 5 million videos have been watched to the end. But whatever, yeah, it's a mark, you know. They're not all watched to the end, but a huge chunk of them are. We got good audience retention on our videos. Many, many people watch right to the end. The graph in the back, the audience retention graph, is very, very horizontal. Anyway, the rat adventure, what happened? You know what happened yesterday morning when we were here on the stream. we had discovered that the rats had invaded the printer's room. They'd been eating all the snacks and stuff like that. And obviously we shut down one place, they pop up in another. They're desperate to, to get in and out and find food. But something else we had done on Tuesday that I hadn't mentioned is that one part of this battle against the rats is we're trying to find out how they are getting in and out of this building. And we still cannot find any specific entrance place. When we put the new sign up for the first floor, we rebuilt one whole section of the front of the building, which was decayed, and we covered it with aluminum flashing, and we feel that that was going to block their main entrance exit point. Didn't seem to make a difference. Anyway, on Tuesday, as a little sidelight here, Aoyama-san went downstairs, searched over the front of the building, and he found a place that looked like a hole at the bottom of where the shutter closes. The shutter closes, it's got supports, and underneath it there was a space about 2 centimeters, and inside you couldn't feel anything. It looks like that was a space to get up and down into the walls. So on Tuesday afternoon, he took some concrete, mixed it up, and stuffed it in there. And it seemed like we blocked the last hole on the front of the building. Again, we don't know. We're just looking at this and trying to figure it all out. So, okay, no problem. So we think we might have closed off another entry exit from the building. Last night, we tried an experiment. We're trying to figure out, the third floor here has 3 separate rooms. We've been keeping the doors open between them all the time. The rats ate the food in the printer's room. Okay, how are they getting into the printer's room? So we closed all the doors last night. Printer's room, we put food on the floor, closed the door. Sizing, hanging room, we put food on the floor, closed the doors. This room here, we put food on the floor, and the doors are all closed. And this is a room that has access to the stairs to go up and down. So the idea was that come this morning, we would see which one of these has been nibbled, telling us which part of the building they have access up and down to. None of the 3 got nibbled, but, great experience last night. I really, really, really wish I would have had a camera. Before I go to bed, I'm sitting in the old party room, 2nd floor. Sitting with my back to the front of the building, the window, it's open, cool breezes coming in, getting ready to go to bed. I can see all the way down the hallway into the old shop. I got my laptop, I'm doing email. In the distance, way down the hallway, pop, up comes Mickey Mouse. Scurries closer, scurries closer, scurries closer, scurries closer. Sits at the entrance to the printing room and looks me right in the face. I sit there, he sits there. I freeze, he freezes, we're just looking each other over. And then I thought, okay, how fast can these guys run? I dropped my laptop and started chasing him. He's doom, 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 doom. They're not that fast, actually. And I hit the light switch as we went. He runs into the old carving room. I hit the light switch. He comes up the stairs, and I trip on the way up the stairs. So by the time I get to the top of the stairs, I'm in the sizing room here now, and he's gone. I have no idea where he is. Whatever, nothing else to do. At least that's a hint. He's got access now from this sizing room to the 2nd floor. So I go back into the room, get my laptop up, continue my email. What is it, 10 minutes go by? 5, 10 minutes go by? I don't know. I'm sitting with my back to the wall, to the window, looking down the hallway, same as before. And exactly the same thing happens. I see in the distance this little thing moving, chuk, 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 chuk. He comes down the hallway, chuk, 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 closer, 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 chuk, chuk, side by side by side. He gets to the entrance to the old print party room where I am. He sits up at the edge of it, ears. He's looking at me. I'm looking at him, exactly the same thing. He's come back. Why? I chased him not 2 or 3 or 4 minutes ago. So why has he come back? I mean, this can't be safe for him. There's somebody there. I mean, what? There's no food there. What's brought him back to danger? So I don't know what's going on. He comes up onto the tatami, walks towards my feet. He sits there about a foot away from my feet. I'm sitting there with a laptop, staring at him. I'm not scared. As soon as I move, he's going to run away. And this is so cool. I'm looking at this guy like this, and he's looking at me like this. And you can see his nose doing the nose thing. You can see the whiskers doing the whisker thing. He comes a little bit closer. And I'm like, holy crap, what is going on here? Why would he do this? For him, it's got to be some fiendish monster. Danger, danger, danger. Why does he do this? He comes a little bit closer off to the side of my foot there. A little bit closer. And I could have, if he I could have reached out and touched the guy. He was that close, and we're just sitting there. And all of a sudden, he brakes and he runs beside me, jumps over my shoulder onto the window ledge and out the window. Obviously, he was so desperate to get out of the building that he took the danger of coming close to this huge monster that was sitting there. So this is cool. It means we have done something. We've blocked some kind of an exit. And he was so desperate to get out, either to get out to go and hunt food or to get out to go back to his nest, or whichever way it is, I don't have any idea. He's so desperate to get out, he came that close to me as I was sitting there. So I'm thinking this is good news. I think we have blocked something. And in fact, if I left that window closed, as I did when I went to bed, we may have finally got some of this thing closed up. But man, I wish I'd have had my camera sitting beside me, put the video on, just watch this guy. They're actually, quote, cute. I'm sorry to say that. We can't get into that frame of mind. These are animals we have to, eradicate. So you can't play pets with rats. It doesn't work like that. Not in this circumstance anyway. I mean, there are such things as pet rats, but that's not something we can do here, obviously. Yeah, wouldn't that be fun on the stream? I had no idea. If I'd have known, I could have prepared the camera, but I had no idea what was going to happen. I would never have imagined that. So. And he was actually, it was interesting to see him. They got these big round ears, just like the caricature Mickey Mouse. So I guess that's because he had them fluffed up, because he was in a danger mode or something. Normally, I guess they keep their ears folded back. I don't know. But he had his ears up like parasails, the two big round Mickey Mouse ears. His nose is twitching, his mustaches are twitching. And it actually looked kind of cute. Very, very, very big. How can I describe how big it was? I mean, this is not some little tiny chibi mouse. This is a handful. Like, the body is like about my fist size, like this. The head, quite a long tail, of course. The body was chunky. I mean, it would have been, even if I'd have been able to hold him, it wouldn't have been like one hand. It's a big, chunky body. This is a big creature. So I'm thinking that's good news. We now have a clue about this. So now there's no entrance and exit to the building from this third floor where I'm sitting here sizing. Otherwise, he would have used that exit, clearly. There might be some entrance exit over in the printer's room, so we had the doors closed. So bit by bit, we're getting information here. Okay, here's the last sheet for this one. I'll be flipping it over to the back side in a minute. No, I'm not going to do rats for the holiday print. I can't. It's one of the zodiac animals to show. We can't do that. Or I don't want to play that game, the astrology game. So. Now we're going to run out of room here. We are going to run out of room. I've brought this a bit too far up. Fridge has indeed been pushed into a corner, but sorry about that, What else am I going to do with the guy? I've allowed too much junk to build up here. Will this fit? What's scheduled? 8:25. Okay, I'll do the back side of this paper. It'll take about the same time as it took me to do the front. Then we'll do our little show and tell. A little show and tell. It's going to be a nice show and tell, except the light is not so great, but whatever. No, it's interesting. The question about the dry, fluffy wrap, this is interesting. I know it looked more like a big mouse. I know it was neither. It wasn't super fluffy, but it wasn't this grotesque, greasy, laid back, slinky, slimy kind of a thing. It was just I said it was kind of cute, actually. He was light and twitchy, big body, but still had a light mood. Maybe his hair was up or something as part of his, mood of being defensive. I don't really know. Jacques, what's happening here? Did you recognize her from the packaging? Two packages. Different dimensions. Two packages. I mentioned him yesterday, did I? Soka. 1971 versus 1979. It's really interesting for me, whatever, really interesting. Look, I got to do some work. Don't get me sidetracked now. I got to do this job. This is the number one reason for being here today, to do this. Size of a cat. These weren't the size of a cat, but they weren't like hamster size. This thing last night, like I said, it was about my fist. Actually, there's other news too. I know, not related to rats here, but related to paper. We got really, really surprised yesterday. I can't remember what I've updated you on the paper orders and stuff like that. We're still using, of course, our main paper supplier, Iwano-san. The paper I'm doing today is made by Iwano-san. Over the past few years, it's been up and it's been down and it's been up and it's been down, but he's still our main supplier. We struggled severely a couple of years ago. Since that time, it's become more stable. We're still using it. As you know, we're experimenting with somebody else to get some paper made, but Iwano-san is still our core paper supplier. So, of course, we have repeated orders in with him. We usually order, back in the old days, when I first met him, 20, 25 years ago or so, you would put the order in, and it would come within a month or so. They were, they were making tons of paper. They had lots of good supplies. There was order, and it would arrive. They were custom-made stuff, so you'd put your order, and he'd tell you, maybe 4 weeks, maybe 6 weeks, maybe 3 weeks, something like that, depending on what time of year, how busy they were. In other words, their orders and their production seemed to be fairly well balanced, and there was no big delays either way around. But they didn't keep stuff in stock. It's all made to order. So you can't just phone it and have them ship it the next day, because it's all made to order. That rolled along that way. Then starting after our Ukiyo-e Heroes project hit, starting in 2012, things changed dramatically. The business had been let slump all through the last, few decades. So production capabilities had been decreasing. The number of farms making the fiber has been decreasing. And then all of a sudden, because of what Jed did with Ukiyo Heroes, the business came back to life with a huge bang. Our own orders went up like crazy. Other publishers jumped onto the bandwagon of making pop culture prints. The tourism business in Japan has exploded. So in the last 5, 6, 7 years, production demand has risen. Demand for woodblock paper has risen. It's not so easy to quickly ramp up the production. So what's happened was the order delays became extensive, nearly a year at one point. I would phone Iwano-san with our order that I expected to come in a few months. And he says, well, we might be able to get it to you by the end of the year, which was say 9 months later. So we learned that we really had to order long in advance, because it's minimum like 6 months to come. The paper I'm using right now that it would have arrived here, I forget exactly when, a couple months back, we would have ordered well over half a year ago. So given that framework, given that time, I phoned him. It would be about a week. What day's today? Today's Thursday. Yeah, I think it was about a week ago. I think I phoned him on Friday. I'm not sure exactly. I might have told you, but I don't know, whatever. And I put in an order for us for what I thought would be pre-next spring, paper we're going to be using and needing next spring, thinking that if we're lucky we might get it by the end of the year, which would be good to pay for it, roll it into this year's finances, or anyway it would come in January or February. And when I phoned him, I got the older guy himself on the phone, which is not so good because he's not the business head there. I would have hoped I would have got his son, but you can't do that. So I put the order in with Iwano-san himself. And he mumbled, said, thank you, good, nice to see you're still enjoying our paper, mumbled. I put in the order for 500 sheets of one size, 500 sheets of another size, and 300 sheets of another size. So I ordered 1,300 sheets of paper, thinking that this is going to be the paper that will supply us next spring. You know, I'm trying to work in advance what our requirements are, which is really tough to do. Anyway, okay, there's the background to the story. Yesterday we're sitting in the shop. I'm down there doing a print party with some people. There's a knock on the front door. There's the delivery. It's the first crate of 500 sheets from my order of paper for next spring has come in less than 1 week. And I mean, like, this just doesn't happen. It's just not possible. You can't even make that much, even if everything had been sitting there ready to go. You can't create that much paper in that short of a time. So they must have had it sitting there. It's the standard size paper, the kind that's used to make most woodblock prints, the kind that we're going to cut in half to make 2 great wave prints. The same sort of paper I was cutting up when I opened the screen paper. So what's happening? Has his orders hit a sudden slump now? Somebody's canceled? Has his order book slowed down to the point where he can start to get ahead of it and make paper in the standard sizes and put it on the shelf? The other 2 that we ordered were not standard, well, they were standard size, but they were not common sizes. So he'd be crazy to make some of those papers and have them on the shelf. But the one that came was the standard make to, you know, normal Nishiki prints. It's the kind of paper that he would have on the shelf if they were able to get ahead of their order book. So this is interesting. It looks like they're ahead of their order book, which is a big change. It means that it could be, has the peak of that pop culture making ukiyo-e prints tapered off. I don't know. I don't see the market here except for ourselves. From his point of view, it will be common sense. If he can get ahead of the order book, then no problem. Just make your most common size, put it on the shelf. It doesn't age badly. It's no problem. In fact, conversely, the more I hear about this, you have the paper made, you have it sit, you let it sit for a year or so before using it, is what I've heard over the years. Much. So I haven't opened it yet. I'm going to open it this morning if I get a chance, or if I do the video first or whatever. I don't know what I'm going to do. But I want to open it, grab a few sheets out of it. I should have done that actually. Open it, put some sheets into this batch so I could get a real physical feel of what it's like. Okay, 4 or 5 sheets left, then we'll put this aside, do a bit of show and tell. bit too much on the head. Always. That's my weak point right there. That corner is clearly my weak point. I need a coach to stand here and show me the angle is wrong or what's going on. That's my weak point. Anthony, how many people are making it? When you say making it, the whole family makes it, but there's many different jobs. There's picking out the chili, picking out the bark. That's everybody. Every man, every child, everybody in the building works on picking out the bark. The actual rocking of the paper, rocking, is that the name for it? I don't know, dipping the thing into it. There's 3 people that do that. Just a sec. The actual dipping part that goes in, there's 3 people doing that. It's Iwano-san himself, who is in his 80s. His wife also does it, and Iwano-san's son, Jun-san, who is in his 50s. Jun-san's wife doesn't work on that part of the process. She works outside. And Jun-san has 2 children, but they're out. I think one is still a college student and one is gone. I think he's an accountant. I'm not quite sure. Some kind of business person. So it's 3 people doing the dipping. So there shouldn't be too much variability. I mean, these 3 people have been working together literally all their lives. Literally all their lives. So the variability should be minimized. And it is. The paper is not so bad. It is living National Treasure paper. We're using it to make all of our gorgeous prints. I have to be careful, sometimes I feel frustrated, so I end up bad-mouthing it. This is terrible crap, or whatever. But, overall, still, it is fabulous, fabulous stuff. I'm frustrated sometimes because the quality has changed over the decades, and I see the old stuff, and I want the new stuff to be the same. But I shouldn't badmouth them too much. It's glorious stuff still, and it will last for hundreds of years. I should be careful to balance my commentary on it. Sometimes I get overly frustrated. Now, how much do you think evaporation there? I've been doing this for about 30 minutes or so. Do you think there's been evaporation? I don't know. I don't know. A little bit maybe. Let's just put a bit in. I don't know. There's no way to tell. I can't measure. Even if I can measure how many grams are there, I don't know. I could weigh the paper, how much weight has been added here, weigh the bin, how much weight has been lost there, whatever. I mean, it gets a bit ridiculous. Someone's asking, planting cherry trees for the future. The tree supply is not the problem. We've talked about this many, many, many times. the analogy that all instantly comes to mind is with the fish. You know, we're overfishing the tuna and stuff, so the resource is disappearing because we're eating too many. So the common sense thing is create more resource, grow more tuna fish or whatever, learn how to do it, or stop taking too many, of course. You know. Our case is not like that. The resource hasn't been overused. There are cherry trees out there all over the place. The country is flooded with Yamazakura cherry trees. The problem is not the resource, the problem is the supply chain. So although the idea, for every tree that I use, I should plant one, of course, that's sort of common sense, that makes a nice idea. But our problem here with the wood is not lack of resource. The problem is lack of supply chain. Okay. Let me have a look at some prints here. We have, as Jacques mentioned earlier in the chat here, we have a set of wood block prints here. In fact, it's English. You can see if I get close enough. It's the Omi Hake, 8 views of Omi, which is Biwa, Lake Biwa near Kyoto. And this is a set designed by Hiroshige back in the, 1840s or something. Somebody can find that information. I don't have a clue. And this is a reproduction set made by Adachi, who started back in the late Taisho. They were really high quality. The guy who started it, Toyohisa Adachi, whatever. I've got a few of the early prints, and they are glories of human endeavor. The war put a stop to what they were doing for a while. They came back after the war, got back at it, developed a real, what's the word? They developed not a database, a group of craftsmen, a group of 6 or 7 printers working for them, 3 or 4 carvers working for them. They cultured young people, brought them up, kept them in the workshop. They didn't hire outside people so much. They cultured their own group of craftsmen. And through the 70s and 80s, they did this way. Some of the guys got older, they hired younger people, trained them, whatever. They had a real, vivid, active workshop. It's the place that I visited in that last video I told you about, the beginnings video. He let me see it, then he threw me out. It was a vivid, active workshop. They were the best. Well, they were good. They were really good back in this year, back in the 70s. Nowadays, it's a different story, but back in the 70s, they were good. What I've got here today are 2 print sets. The same publication, Adachi, 8 views of Lake Biwa. This is a 1971 publication, which I scored 2 nights ago, and it was just an open Yahoo auction thing, actually. For a few years, I've had this copy, which we think is 1979. It doesn't have a date on it, but Kubota-san, our printer Kubota-san, was on the team making this. And in fact, what should I do here? Let's get the camera sorted out. I'm gonna have to move the camera. Earthquake coming. We're gonna be looking at the prints here, so let me just get that set up. We'll start like this, I guess. The light is not going to be really great for doing this, but step inside. Now this thing opens. I'm going to have to move. It opens wide. It opens wide. So let me just take the prints out of this thing. I'll just close it back up. Here are the 8 prints inside. Now there's a okay. It's got a nice, it's got Japanese explanation, and they did a really good job. They were exporting some of these prints at the time, so they've got good English explanation, a map of the stuff, and all of the English explanation about each print. Very nice. This is the set I got a few years ago, and it has no date, but we are able to date it because here it's got the craftsman's name. And this is, zoom in or just bring it up in. And looking at this list of craftsmen, we're able to date this at 1979. Kubota-san, our printer, had just entered the workshop, and he's listed at the bottom of the line here. And it's Kojima-san. He's got a hugely interesting story. He was an ex-yakuza, turned out to be a printer. Nakata-san, and then Hamano-san. By now, Murata-san, their top printer, had gone by this time. So it was Murata-san, Hamano, Nakata, Kojima, and then Kubota had just joined it as a young boy. So whether he doesn't remember whether or not his hands are on this set. He just did his job, did his work day by day by day. But he was part of the workshop at this time. Now this set is something to die for. I know, where do I start? I know, let's pick a better example to start with. It's a set of 8 views around Lake Biwa, and it's really, really different from all the other stuff we see that goes under Hiroshige. I should have brought more samples. This isn't supposed to be a lecture. We'll do a YouTube video later. You all know the standard Hiroshige Tokaido prints, the prints that he did of the old post road going from Tokyo down to Kyoto. They're focused on the people. They're supposed to be about locations, but there's people doing activities, there's people doing stuff, guy riding a horse, people doing this, people doing that. It's very Japanesey, and it's very local, and it's very about daily life kind of stuff. This set is, I'm pointing the wrong way. Anyway, whatever, doesn't matter. This set is different. He's gone back here to a kind of a more classical landscape style. Men like him in that era, we're talking about the middle 1800s, educated men of that era. They knew Chinese poetry. The same way that somebody in English in my era, we studied Shakespeare, and we might study a bit of Heine and whatever, but German, different languages in Europe. Japanese people studied their own Japanese culture, and they also, of course, brought in all kinds of stuff from China. So they would know Chinese poetry, and they would know about Chinese painting and Chinese landscape. And that's what we're seeing here. We're seeing a very classical, much more Chinese type of landscape. People, there's no people. Well, there are. The people are here, but they're just dots. There's no human faces and human activities. And where do I start? I know it's ukiyo-e in the sense of there's an outline with flat colors in between, which was all ukiyo-e had been up to this point. This guy has blown past the lines. We are now having shapes and forms that don't even have outlines on them anymore. You can see it, the mountain. It's just a shape in the background, the clouds, everything here. There are no outlines going around everything. The sea, which went up to this point, had just been flat blue. You're going to see it printed blue. People understand it's a sea. There's a sky printed blue. People get that it's a sky. This sky is, what is it? It's a Naples yellow. Have you ever seen a Naples yellow sky? Not me. Didn't matter. Away they go. The sea is full of light patches. It's got the actual ripple lights. It's got a light patch in the distance. Where's the sun? I don't know. It's just really cool what this guy has done with this. It's unlike anything else he's made. It's different, and it's really stunningly beautiful. And these Adachi copies, they're not going to show you. I'll have to do some scans. We'll do a video about this with some really nice ones. The side light on this will just show it. Oh my God. No lines, just a mountain. A mountain doesn't exist. That's just paper, of course. Create a mountain by printing a sky around it. The blue here is so deep and so rich. Whatever, Sugi-san looked at this today, she's like, how did they do that? Very classical, very Chinese, gray mountain tones. Again, no outlines. There's an outline here on the temple, that's right. This guy is making ukiyo-e, but the landscape is done with no outlines. Again, yellow sky with a black bar on the top. It doesn't make any sense, but... And the classical elements, those sails in the sunset. I mean, it's cliched stuff. It was probably cliched stuff in his era, but it doesn't matter. He has just done it. And the men who made these prints just did it in such a beautiful, beautiful way. There's 8 of them in the set. And I got to make a video about them because there's another aspect to talk about this too. What they are. This is a set of 8 Chinese poems. I should have done a bit more research here. Men of his era, as I said, they knew classical literature and stuff. And there's this famous set of 8 Chinese poems. This would be centuries and centuries before this. And for some reason, the Japanese picked this up, and every artist and every person who wrote his own poetry or whatever picked this set of 8 poems and would create images based on it. One of the poems was something about returning geese at sunset. So here we are, we have geese coming in at sunset. One was about the sound of the temple bell echoing across the valley. So here we've got one of these prints there. There's a valley with a temple on the other side. People would know that's the one with the echoing temple bell. There's one that mentioned the night rain outside your window. So we have one of these views here. There's a famous pine tree, famous in Hiroshike's time, and he's put it under some night rain. So there's these 8 allusions: returning geese, night rain, snow on this mountain. And everybody who would make a set of 8 images based on this poetry had to incorporate those 8 particular things. It's soft-toned, it's beautiful, it's quiet, there's no people, there's just landscape. And I think I say the same thing. If there's a fire in this building and I can only grab one thing, I think I always come up with whatever the thing I've been looking at most recently. This is what I would grab, and this is what I would take out. Anyway, this is a set from my collection, which I got extremely cheaply one day in a dealer auction. I don't even want to mention how much it cost because it would be embarrassing. We paid basically nothing for it because nobody else was interested in it. They either didn't want it, they didn't recognize how high quality the actual printing on this one was. Anyway, so this is now what? This is Thursday. On Monday night, another copy of this same set came up. So I bid on it. I had to pay a bit more for it than I paid for that one. It was a few $100s. More than a few $100, actually. Excuse me. And it's interesting. This is an older set. There's the 1979 set, the larger one. This is 1971. And it's toned. The packaging and everything shows more toning. Let's leave those there. You can see the paper is a bit more toned. It's the same, the same pamphlet inside. And the printer's list, there's the title list. The printer's list is different. It's going back in time. And we now have Murata-san at the top, Hamada-san, who we saw before. Kojima-san is now listed higher than Nakata-san. And we have a man, I don't know, Tomita-san, Tomoda-san. I don't know who that is, I'm sorry. And then we have Suzuki. And these men, these are dead long before I came to Japan. And Kubota-san is not here. This is before Kubota entered this workshop. And it's the same block set. In fact, this is probably when the block set was first created. So this will be perhaps early prints from this block set. And it's the same group of men, but it's a different tone. It's a different batch, a different lot. Let me try and find the same print. Let's see so we can compare. Here we are. There's the 1971 version, and there's the 1979 version. And it's a little bit unfair because the paper here is a bit toned. So compare. This is brighter, whiter paper. This paper is slightly toned. It's, nearly a decade older. And perhaps the person that preserved this set has kept it shut up a bit too much. I'm not quite sure. I don't know. And this is the same publisher, the same blocks, the same group of men, just doing a different batch about 10 years later. Quite a bit whiter here. Quite a bit more of a single tone here. Now they brought the blue up above that cloud, on this cloud. Which one's right, which one's wrong, I don't know. It would depend on which of the original prints from the old days they kept as a model. I don't know. Let's try and find some more to compare. Again, the right-hand side one, much brighter. Whatever, very similar. You can clearly see it's the same publisher. Very, very minimal difference. Bit darker, bit farther down, bit lighter. Oh, this one, let's see, this should show. Okay, we're not going to go through the whole set, it's just not the point. We should do a proper video about it later. These are a bit of a different color, eh? This is a bit richer blue, this has more green in it. You look at it two ways. You can look at it and think, oh my God, there's so many differences. They should be perfectly the same. But this is a decade apart, you know. Decade apart, same blocks, same publisher. So they should have had a sample on the wall for the guys to follow. I don't know. It depends on how much Adachi-san kept their feet to the floor. I don't know. Anyway, beautiful. These are to die for. Absolutely to die for. The paper quality is just, again, all of our printers here who see this paper, there's no chitty, there's no marks, it's dead smooth. Kubota-san was here yesterday delivering some other prints, and we showed these to him, and he says, yeah, I remember those days. He doesn't remember if he was on this job or not. But he said, my God, the paper, you know, if only we could have paper like this. Does he have some third party bind them up? No, as far as I know, Adachi does their own packaging. They order, you know, they order paper from an outside supplier. And that's something to mention. This paper is no good. I know the paper they used for packaging. Look at this. This last one I got here, they've been stacked up. Look at the back of this. Can you see? It's shimi, it's foxing starting on the paper. And the one thing we're going to do, we're going to get these prints ripped out of these folders. No, I don't mean ripped out. I mean, I have to take them out of the folder. Look at this, look at this, look at this. Spots. This is an example. I talk about this all the time. The best packaging for prints is nudity, naked. We don't need them packaged at all. You're never, ever going to get a commercial paper as beautifully made and as safe as the washi itself. The washi will last 200 years. None of these papers will last 200 years. This is now 70 years old and it's done, finished. We've got to get this print out of here. So it's the first thing we do with all of these prints we get at auctions. We rip them out of their folders. It's too bad because the folder, the presentation is really nice. You can look at the prints, you can, you could even get a frame, put them in and take them out one at a time. But the packaging is deathly for these prints, absolute deathly for these prints. So step one, we're going to get them out of here. Look at this, this is too bad. They've used a bit of too much Baron pressure here. Where's the other one? Here's the one from my copy. I don't know if you can see it or not. The copy from 1979. It's such a moody, beautiful print, My God. And this one, I don't know if you can see it or not. The printer's used a bit too much pressure in the middle here, and there are some slight circular marks left from the Baron. That's a negative for me. Maybe nobody would notice it, I don't know. But for me, it spoils it a little bit on that one. See it, right? Show? They shouldn't be there. You shouldn't be able to see the tool. There's no way you should be able to see the tool. But look at the rain. Look at this. 2 blocks to make the rain. Beautifully, beautifully done. Look at the mountain. They've put a little gradation on the back of that mountain there. See it? Just a little color on the top of that thing. And then the drop dead rich blue at the bottom. Anyway, there you have it, there you have it, there you have it. So one set for our own collection and one set will be going into the flea market. After we clean it up, we've got to get it out of the packaging. We're mixed feelings what to do, There's no way I'm going to break up this set. And it would be criminal to break up this set and put them one by one in the flea market. We wouldn't do that. Most of the prints we get for the flea market are from old broken sets. Because people would buy a set, they would put one in a frame and put the rest on the shelf and then forget about it. So most of the sets we get are broken. This one's not. There's no way we're going to break it out. But it has to come out of the packaging. It's got to come out of the packaging because the packaging is going to kill these prints. So we'll take them out, we'll make a deal, we'll put them on the flea market with the package as a box, then the 8 prints separately wrapped and preserved. And the person that buys it, whatever, you've got to sort out your own thing, you know. Because you can't keep them in these packages. That's why, you know, we get the old prints, Meiji era, Taisho era. They didn't make packages like this, and those prints are usually very well preserved. I mean, the ones that survive. But from the post-war period, they all created packages like this, and it's awful. I hear footsteps on the floor, on the stairs.
Rats.
It's rats. Cameron got a great rat story, but I'm in the middle of 6 different things here.
Okay.
And I've got to hang up some paper here. What is it? It's 9:01 now. I've got another batch to size, but I've got another batch to hang up.
Lots of things happening at once.
Yeah, it's been a busy morning. Shiba-san took so much time with hers yesterday, and then the shop got so busy,
Yeah.
I didn't have a chance to do mine. And that pushed Sugi-san. Sugi-san was supposed to be moistening this today, but I didn't get ready, so she's off. She's not here. She's lost a day of work because I screwed up.
Oh no.
Come say hello. So I've got to do it now. I've got to hang this up now. So we're at 9 o'clock now. Tell you what, let's do the usual thing. Let's say hello, whatever. Then let's go to the next room and hang this up and do this.
Carry the tripod.
And rat news. Cameron, rat news. Oh my God.
Did we get any?
No, just wait. It's better than that.
Okay.
It's better than that. I've already told these guys the story.
We can tell
My
Cam the
keyboard,
rest.
yeah, my keyboard is melted in heat. You see this?
Yeah.
People ask us that. Your keyboard looks funny, the heat.
Yeah.
My computer has melted. It's a plastic cover, you guys. You're always on at me because I might drop size and stuff on the keyboard.
why
So
you
of
have it,
course
right?
I have a plastic cover for it. So. But it says the cover changes shape. It's plastic, but it seems to get moisture. It absorbs and whatever goes on. I can keep it flat, or I can poke it up here, whatever. All right, we got to hang this paper up, and we got a rat story to tell. But what should we do? Should we move the camera? Okay. Yeah. Those of you who are with us, you know what's going to happen. We're going to move the camera to the next room, but to do that, we have to actually unplug the camera, which means the video signal that you're seeing here of me is going to go down. It's going to, what did it say? I forget. It says no signal.
Yeah, no signal with color bars.
Yeah. And this one should stay the same. Let me get the landing place ready here. Okay. Say hello or something. Hey.
Literally hot air. Yeah.
Oh,
What's going on this morning? Apple manufacturing. I don't think it's an official Apple keyboard cover.
Okay, I think we're ready. Your landing place is ready. The plug is ready for the camera.
The new video is 1080p, 60
clear the-
FPS.
Pardon me?
Oh, someone asked, what's the new video?
Oh, it is 1080. I was going to ask
Yep.
you. Did you do something
Yep.
for 1080? Okay. Yeah, it must be a gajillion mega gigabytes or something.
It's big.
10 gig?
I think so. It's
Okay, this is going to come out and go in my pocket. The microphone is unplugged. You're going to have to hit that plug.
See you later.
So that main camera is coming down now. Let's do this thing, sir. All clear? Ethernet okay? Camera okay? That's not going to go through the door, but whatever. Should I put the camera on camera? Let's follow him. You can see. Watch your step, sir. All set. Okay. Oh, I have the short camera cable. Ah ha ha. You're good. We have no choice. You have to come really close. That's going to be a deal killer on this one, actually.
Oh yeah, you can't.
So We can't separate the camera from the...
Putting it on the other side, on the left side.
It doesn't on all... Oh, the guys, I should move this. Yeah. Look at all these cables. Look at this. Sorry about this, gang. Here we go. That's out. You can go now to the end of... Just a minute. Okay, that's the power out of the way. That's as long as it needs to be, so that's okay. You can go back now till that thing runs out.
But will you be able to get...
I'll think of something. Whatever. You go back as far as you can go. This one doesn't
cable.
Yep, that doesn't matter. We got endless length on that one.
Alright.
How am I going to get through there? I'm going to have to walk around. It doesn't matter. Is it coming back up? It says no signal. Here it comes. Coming back up. Unsupported signal. Black. It's up. Okay, let me move the iMac camera.
Oh, wait, is that better or worse?
You tell me. We're going to...
I'm gonna get everyone seasick.
They're laughing at us, right? So. Now there's power. Now there's no way we're going to have power on this Mac. We'll see if it lasts, how long it lasts. There's the power plug. No room for it. Down she goes. Okay, now we've got Shiba-san's paper still there. So I have to take that down. No problem. To me. Step one. The paper comes down. You can tell them what's going on. I don't know why we do the plastic and stuff. You want to dry it slowly.
Yep. It's a humid place, but often our printers have the air conditioner running because it's a humid place. So we keep all the paper hidden behind these plastic sheets to keep the room, or keep the air around the paper humid enough that they don't dry out really quickly and get deformed or have other issues.
If I pass them to you, can you stack them over there?
Right here? Yep.
Oh, she's done it backwards. She's right-handed. Okay,
She's wrong-handed.
if you put them down on the table.
Okay.
Put them down first. All the way around. With the clips, with the clips towards you. I know.
Ah,
Yeah.
that's the other way around.
Then,
There's several dimensions.
bingo.
Okay.
And throw the clips in the box. Because I'm going to use those same clips in a minute for my paper. Will I do it, sir?
Yep.
Okay. What am I looking for? I guess this is not on camera, is it? Just we do it here so it's on camera? If you did it here. Just put that there like this, you can... Hello.
How are you?
Okay, bit careful. Come and say it over near the camera here, or near the mat, or whatever. Jesus, it's hot in here, you know.
It is.
I'm sweating already.
Yeah.
It's a sauna room, no kidding.
That's what you want for the paper,
Yeah,
isn't
that's
it?
what we wanted. No party reservations overnight, chance, so it's going to be a quiet party day in the shop.
Mm-hmm. Until all the...
Until
Yeah,
4:30, and then all you guys leave and all the customers come. It's good.
Was last night a busy night of customers?
No, we closed. I had no time to do that. I closed the shop.
Not too fast.
There's too much else going on.
Yeah.
Rachel, rats. I made a rat last night. Me.
Oh,
A rat, I know. Aoyama-san closed up with concrete one of the last remaining holes down at the front of the stairs, you know, where the shutter comes down. We don't know if that's where they were coming in or out, but whatever, we suspect that
Covered it up.
he closed it off. So last night, what happens, I'm sitting in the old party room with my back to the window on the tatami. Get in the old party room, I'm sitting on the floor with my back to the outside window where the big Baron sign is. I can see down the hallway through the second floor. It's late at night. It's like 10 o'clock or something before I go to bed. I'm typing on my laptop. And I can see in the distance, all of a sudden, Mickey Mouse comes up at the end of the hallway, the second floor hallway. There's a rat came up. Chuk, 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 and the hallway lights are on, so I can see it. I'm sitting with my laptop. He hasn't heard me yet. So he comes bounding closer to the old party room. I'm just frozen now, sitting watching, not moving so it won't scare him or whatever. He comes closer and closer and closer, sits at the entrance to the party, looks up. He's got the Mickey Mouse, the big wide Mickey Mouse. And he now sees me. Oh, wait, no. Oh, no. He just sits there. He's freezing, looking at me. And I'm looking at him, and I'm like, I don't say anything. Okay, buddy, where are we going with this? And he comes up into the party room, onto the tummy. I'm sitting there like, why is he doing this? I'm an enemy. I'm a monster, whatever.
Yeah.
So I quietly put the laptop down, and then, okay, buddy, who can run fastest? And I try to chase him. He turns around, boing, 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 boing. They're actually not that fast. So by the time we get to the end of the hallway, I've nearly caught him. I flip the switch to turn on the lights in your room so I can see. He jumps up the tummy. I go running through. The light comes on a bit late because that's the way the lights work. We get to the corner. He runs the corner. I go around the corner. I can see him going up the stairs. I flip the light switch. He's going up the stairs, the third floor, and I trip on the stairs.
Oh, no!
Ah, my glasses fall off. And I'm like, so I get to the top of the stairs, come round. It's dark. I flip the light switch on. He's nowhere to be seen. But anyway, he was
up here somewhere.
He was the third. So these doors were all closed.
Okay.
So it's not party room. It's not this room. It's the sizing room. It's okay, no problem. Relax. I go back downstairs. That was a nice, fun experience. I'll tell Cameron in the morning. I sit back down there again with my back to the window, which is open. And 5 minutes later, the same scenario plays out. I can see him in the distance. He comes closer to me. He comes up into the tatami room. What's going on? He knows I'm a monster who's going to chase him. Why is he doing this?
He wants to go out the window?
That's what he get closer and closer. My feet are there. I'm looking over my feet. He comes up like within maybe 1 foot of my feet. His whiskers are going, his big ears. He looks really friendly. He looks actually sort of, quote, cute. This is not a slick, sewery, slimy rat. This is just a big mouse, about as big as my hand. And he came closer up to my leg, and I'm thinking, I do not get this. This is so dangerous for him.
Yeah.
And you've known what's happened. What he did, all of a sudden, he made a break for it, ran past me, jumped over my shoulder, took a leap, over my shoulder, over the rat trap that's sitting on...
I put it right by the window, because I thought...
Nope, he jumped over my shoulder, over that thing, out onto the balcony. I'm like, grab, and I can't see where he's gone. But this is good news. It means we've sealed another hole.
Yeah.
And he was so desperate to get out that he was willing to come that close to this monster.
Wow.
So I'm really happy about this. If we now, I want that window open, because at night I don't want to close the window. Screen, we got to now get a screen for that window, and then see where this plays out.
Yeah.
But good news, good fun.
Cute Benny Hill soundtrack with the mouse.
I just wish I had. Look, do I have a camera? Do I have a camera? I didn't have a camera with me or anything. Put a video on for that. Oh my God. But I didn't have a camera with me.
Yeah.
After the first episode, I wasn't smart enough to think he's going to come back to go get a camera and get ready for him. I had no idea he was going to come back.
That's crazy.
So what I should do maybe is get a camera ready tonight and try the same scenario.
Yeah.
If he's in or out or whatever, I don't know. Is the same thing going to happen tonight? I don't know.
Yeah.
So I'll be ready. I'll be waiting. But no promises.
Right.
I can't predict rat behavior. Yeah. Anyway, we're supposed to be working.
Oh, yeah.
Where's my paper?
I'm gonna go and get rid of
Okay, you need the key, don't you?
I opened the shutter, so
Okay.
yeah.
You're with key, isn't it?
Yes.
You were able to do it by yourself, the shutter? Be careful, don't hurt yourself.
Quite wavy paper. Yes, the paper is rather wavy when it comes right off of drying.
Well, it shouldn't be actually. It should be a bit smoother than that. It should, if we've got it all perfect, it should be just pretty much flat. Yeah. She's going to press it now. Okay, tell you what, Cameron, I can't do this, so you go in there.
Okay.
There's a reason for two people. Yeah, I'm going to hand it over to you, right?
Sounds good.
There's a cable in the way, gang, so I'll prepare the paper here. Let me get my own face out of the way here again. Out there. Maybe we should
I
tip the
had it down so that we could see this, but now it looks like we have to go back up.
It's out at max zoom, is it? Yeah.
Yeah. So you just have to angle it.
I can't move it back any further.
No,
Okay, what's good? You
really.
can see there's strings up there. Whatever. We'll do a few with we'll do a few at the bottom, and we'll move the camera. That's all. We can.
Okay.
So the paper is face. It's face down at the moment.
Okay.
So we're going to flip the first sheet over so that the top sheet is now face up, and the first two sheets are now back to back. So as they dry, even if they do stick to each other a little bit, it won't damage anything. Where's my wood stick? Is it
Under there or under this pile?
Here it is, here, come
Okay, you got it.
So back to back paper, up we go, straight to you, and you know what to do with it, sir. Good, 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 good.
Sometimes do you use a longer one, or what is this third string for?
What is the third string for? I don't remember. Oh yeah, I do remember. Aoi Yamasan made his own. It's funny, once I built this system here, when was it, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, I built this system. Aoi Yamasan at home, this is before he was working for us regularly, he bought his own sizing machine, it's over there, his own sizing tray, and he made his own set of sizing clips.
Okay.
And he did it on a wider, like his different train tracks.
Yeah.
He did it on a wider train track. And he has since brought his clips here. It's interesting. He was, I guess, in the process of setting up his own printmaking workshop.
Huh.
Based on what we were doing. He doesn't talk about it much. I don't ask him about it much. Like, what were you doing, copying everything we do here and building your own setup?
Yeah.
So we just sort of let that one go.
So we can turn up, getting them to touch each other.
They're just sort of, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Move the camera up so you can see what he's doing. Yeah.
So, I see we got a package of paper.
Yeah, okay, what that was, I was chatting about it. It's 500 sheets of Onishiki paper. And I haven't had this experience in, I don't know, 20 years or something, ordering paper and it shows up within a week. I mean, it's just a what. It came in the door and I'm like,
What is this?
I didn't even, I was just stunned. Oh, we did get
A
a,
wrinkle there.
yeah, we did get a wrinkle. Crap, I was too busy talking and telling rat stories. We've lost one sheet. Luckily, it hasn't clutched. But you see that wrinkle is
Yeah.
permanent. Oh, here we are. Sorry, I've got the camera.
You can't just iron it out like you do with all
Well,
the wrinkly shirts.
Maybe that's what I'm trying to get it up. It's okay. She'll use this. This is test sheet. Any batch of paper, there's 2 or 3 that are going to be used for tests, and she will use that one. But if I hadn't been watching, the whole batch could be destroyed. This is really not a good idea to sit here with a camera running and tell stories and be sidetracked. It should just be total focus. Okay.
Well, see you guys later. Shut down the screen.
Too late now.
Total focus while I hang these. So these are the ones for Suga-san.
This is
right?
Suga-san for Times Burned Bright. She was supposed to be making the paper moist on Wednesday. I misinterpreted the DOSA calendar to think that I should do it on Wednesday, which is the first mistake. And then I didn't get it done Wednesday.
Yeah.
I think we have an odd number of sheets here, perhaps, because so I screwed one up yesterday when I was thinking after she was not finished. I was thinking I should start this, but the brush had been in the bucket for about 2 hours, so I started it. But no, the brush was too full of sticky glue, so I just aborted it and move on to today. So there's one extra sheet here. That's lonesome.
That one would have been paired with the one you started yesterday. Is that
Yeah, so there's 1, 2, 3 over there. So I did 3 sheets yesterday before thinking this is not going to work. So I should just pack it up. So this is the one that matches that one over there. go, sir. Oh, what have I done? All right, there we are. It's been another bit of a crazy stream today. I haven't really followed very much. There might have been all kinds of questions I didn't catch. I'm sorry about that. So blame the lurkers. The crease on the stream, on the paper. Blame these guys.
Blame these guys.
So. Okay, what's happening? Today's Thursday. Tomorrow is Friday. There will be a stream tomorrow. Probably what it will be is back down on the carving bench on our Octofriend. Or there's another possibility. What it might be tomorrow's stream is I still have to do the color separations for the final print of the last Kickstarter campaign. What's the one? I forget the name she calls it. These two guys on the dragon.
Two Souls
Entwined. Key block is back. I've got to do color separations. So that might be something I could do on stream tomorrow. I don't really know. We'll sort it out tomorrow. There will be a stream. It won't be a sizing stream, that's for sure.
Yeah.
3 days in a row is not so good on that. Probably that back in the cutting. Sorry for the chaos today, guys. We're having a lot of fun here. Thanks for being part of it, and I hope I haven't missed anything interesting. Anything that I should definitely reply. See you tomorrow. Thanks again. I'm waiting for you to shut it off, but the switch is over here. Right? Okay. Here we are. Zoom in on the button that says "Stop Streaming."